In this video, we'll make this simple 2D drawing and I'll start with the circle tool. So I'll go to circle from the draw panel and click anywhere again to start the circle, and let's add the first circle of radius 56 and press enter. Press enter again to repeat the circle and go to the same center, and now add the circle of radius 50 and press enter. Well, we have our concentric circles. Now let's go to the construction line. So I'll go to construction line, and here's this construction line tool, X line, and you can also use its command XL if you want. Now I'll go to center and I'll make a horizontal construction line and press enter. Now we have the intersection point here which will be needed on this geometry, and now let's go to circle tool again, and at this intersection point, the intersection of the smaller circle and this construction line, make another circle. So this time I'll make a circle with radius 12 or the diameter of 24. Press enter again to repeat it. Go to the same center and now once again add another circle, and this time with radius of 6 and press enter. Okay, now press enter again, go to the same center and again add another circle with radius 8 and press enter. So we have these 3 circles now, and we need to now trim some of the geometries which we don't need. So for that I'll go to trim, press enter, and now carefully remove the parts which are no longer needed. So we don't need this one and this part as well, and from here we don't need this part. Okay, so that leaves us with only this much of the circle. Well, that's fine. Now press enter and now select it all, and we need to make an array here. So now go to this modify panel, expand this flyout and select polar array. Now click on the center point and it will make this default array with 6 objects. Well, we need to increase that. So here go to items and add 10 and press enter. Now look at this. So now we have 10 items. So we have our array. Now we can exit this command, but before exiting, make sure this associative option is unchecked. This is very important step. We want to make them as separate objects. So uncheck this option and it should be grayed out like this. It should not be selected. Now close array. Now here we have all of these geometries, but now we need to remove these circles. So anything which is below this construction line should be deleted, only these circles, the smaller ones. Now here in the top of this, we need to modify some of the drawings, and to modify them, I'll select the trim tool. So trim, press enter, and now let's get rid of the geometries which are not needed. So we don't need this one, this line, and in a similar way, we don't need the remaining lines here. Alright, and we don't need lines here as well. So once again I'll go to trim, press enter, and now repeat the process for this side as well. So just make sure that you leave only the part which I'm leaving, and you just trim out everything else which is not needed. Well, that's gonna take some time to clear all the unnecessary stuff from the drawing like this. Well, there we have it. So now we have the top half part of the drawing. We need to make the bottom half, and to make that I'll once again start with the line tool. Okay, so I'll click on this point and now make a line with length of 50 unit and press enter. Well, this 50 unit is exactly the radius of this circle. Okay, and you can see that when I'm making this horizontal line, it's touching here. Okay, now on this endpoint we'll make that geometry, or we can also copy this part or any of these parts. So this is closely resembling the part which we need here. So I'll select these 3 geometries, these 2 arcs as well as the circle, go to copy tool, select from this center point and move it to this center point here. Okay, now we need to make the single line. Now click on this endpoint and make sure it's perfectly horizontal like this. And you can make it of any length. Length hardly matters in this case. And our drawing is almost complete. We only need to trim some of the parts which are no longer needed. The first thing which we don't need is this construction line. Now I'll go to trim, press enter, and let's trim this part as well as this part. And now we only need to add some fillets, but before that let's get rid of this part as well. Okay, so we have this drawing. Let's just remove this one, and now let's go to fillet. Okay, and we need to add the remaining fillets in the drawing, and you can see that all fillets have radii 2 units. So now go to radius and add 2 as the radii, press enter, and make sure you select this multiple option because we want to repeat this fillet tool a lot of times. Now I'll start with this one. So select this line, click on the circle, the first fillet is added. Now click on this circle and this line, well, it's adding in the wrong side, so I'll select this one. Just look at this, when I'm clicking this side it will add the fillet there, and if you click here it will add the fillet on that side. That's what we want. We'll get rid of this line later on. Okay, for now let's go to the remaining part of the drawing and apply the fillets. So we need to apply fillets over all of these drawings. So one of the easier way of applying fillet on all of these corners is converting the complete geometry into polyline and then applying it directly using the single polyline command. You can do that if you want, or you can apply it like this, the way I'm applying them. And there we have it. So now the fillets are applied here. So let's go to the trim tool, press enter, and now let's get rid of this last segment here. And there we have it. So we have this part almost complete. We need to just make the mirror image on this side. So I'll select it, and I'll also select this line, go to mirror tool, select the center, and make sure that I make a completely vertical line and press enter again. Well, there we have it. We only need to trim this part. So go to trim, press enter, and get rid of this one. And that completes our final drawing.